Here's what's going on today, YouTube. We've had a couple dustings, 2-inch dustings of snow, and they eventually have all melted off, and then we kind of went back into like the last week of fall for 2 weeks, and so my driveway's got ruts in it from the summer rains and whatnot, so I'm going to try to take those out. It's 37 degrees out, and I know next week we're going to freeze up hard again. So I'm hoping the ground is soft enough where I can rake out those ruts. And then, more importantly, I got to change the engine oil in this, check the antifreeze, check the tire pressure, a little bit of rolling around on that, because I've got rim guard in all 4 wheels. Without that, I wouldn't be able to plow. I just need that ballast to push this thing through the snow without having to chain up on everything. And I don't like to chain up because I've got to do, what is it, a total of 17 miles of driving on roads between my properties. And chains are hard on roads and roads are hard on chains, so that's what I got to do today. Oh, and if I have the time before it gets too dark, then I'll drop, well, I will drop this rake off. I got my hydraulic rake, my everything attachments hydraulic rake on the back, and I gotta hook up the snowblower and service the snowblower, which means lubricating it, checking the bearings, and I worked on the chute this spring, so I gotta rewire the chute and figure out where the left and the rights are. Spring for my steering wheel index broke, so my steering wheel wants to flop around. I got one on order. Who knows when it will show up? And its eyelets are just big enough where my universal spring kit, none of them would work. I want to hit you, pine tree. I love you, pine tree. Action right here. Let's see if we can. Well, insofar as I'm concerned, that's that. The big ruts are gone. Everything's relatively flat again. Flat enough for the winter anyway. And I know it's all going to be messed up again come spring, so we don't have to get that excited about it.
Hey YouTube, Eric here. The Vikings just beat the Falcons, going 10-2 for the season, and so in Minnesota we're all excited. And afterwards I came on out and it was time to hook up my snowblower. And if you remember, I had welded on the chute and fixed that on up, but I hadn't had my tractor over here, so I had no power to hook the hydraulics up and to get this thing set up. And I tell you what, I just spent way too much time remembering, if you ever do this style of setup, one loop for each side and then no loops on the chute itself, and then grease the chute up. I kept breaking shear bolts. This is a sacrificial bolt right here that'll break if the chute binds, and the chute started binding. I'm like, gee whiz, when I welded this thing on up, did I get it too tight? Then it occurred to me, no, there's a grease zircon here for a reason. And so I greased that I greased up the lower ring, and it was still breaking shear bolts. And so then I realized I had to get in here and grease this ring here too. And once I did that, I can darn near spin this by hand where it keeps moving, you know what I mean? Anyway, I thought I'd worse fixed something for a while until I figured it out. I thought I'd share for those of you who have the McKees and John Deere's and New Idea, and gee whiz, McKee made a whole lot of these snowblowers. So you know it's a McKee manufacturer by just the style of the augers. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you, YouTube. It's a little late at night, but we're ready to rock and roll. A little tick-tick sound you hearing on this thing. I'm gonna bend the top up a little bit. Oops. Right there.
Nobody loves you like the way